Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Happy little Tuesday here.
Tuesday, I got a little bit of a, hangover? Is that what you call it? You know, when the Saints are losing, we have a thing, crown when you're down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Saints were losing the whole game.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that was quite a game last night on Monday Night Football.
Crazy stuff. I fell asleep before the ending, and apparently the ending was the best part.
Oh,
for
you
Saints
did?
fans.
Oh, you couldn't make it all the way to the end, huh?
I couldn't. Well, I drank so much Crown that I passed out.
Well, there you go.
It's a hell of a Monday.
The Crown will actually put you down.
It did.
Not Crown when you're down, Crown you're going to go down.
Yeah, Crown don't fuck around.
No, Crown don't fuck around. I have the Apple Crown, so it's like Crown for beginners.
Okay, but maybe you're feeling like you're, not drinking anything that's too potent. Then.
Right. It sneaks up on you.
Apple would, I think, make me vomit. Apple Crown sounds miserable. Maybe I gotta try it.
It's better than Real Crown. To me, Real Crown is gross. I know some people love it, but I can't do straight Crown.
When you hold your breath when you take a drink of something, I don't know if that means it's good. I think you just like the feeling of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, last night the Saints fell down 20-3, and
they were losing the whole game.
Yeah,
the whole entire game that I saw, anyway.
Yeah, and the Chargers had them down. The Chargers did this week before too. They had a team down, and they cannot hold on to a lead, and they had a chance to win at the end of regulation, and their field goal kicker missed a 50-yard field goal.
Sweet.
And yeah, if you did miss it, and then Will Lutz converted a 36-yard field goal, and one of my former Buckeyes, Marshawn Lattimore, wound up tackling the Chargers wide receiver just a yard shy on fourth down, and he held on to the victory 30-27. An exciting game last night, a win for your Saints.
Your boy Lattimore is a big player for the Saints.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Yeah, the Saints have a lot of former Buckeyes.
Your boy
there.
Michael Thomas not playing last night.
Yeah, disciplinary issues.
He punched another teammate in the face, and then when all the coaches came around and said, "Bro, you can't be punching your teammates in the face," he got lippy with the coaches and started cursing, and they said, "Okay, you don't get to play."
Seems odd. He doesn't seem like he would be wired that way, but
I know, but he's coming off an injury. He's been out for quite a few games, so maybe he's on pain meds. You don't know.
No, yeah,
I played
you're
on
right.
plenty of teams where guys fought each other on the same team.
Punched each other in the face.
It happens, man.
Yeah, you get emotional, and you got to sometimes just give somebody that kind of forgiveness to say, "All right, you're not yourself.
You're not yourself." That is not in character for.
It doesn't feel like it. The stories I've heard of the guy. I do have talking about the Buckeyes. DJ from New Jersey. He's a longtime KVJ listener, and he wants to call me out and set it straight.
What'd you do?
I was having a little bit of fun. I was trolling a little bit on the Canes a bit, and he got all upset. And he said, Kevin was commenting on the Miami Hurricanes fans and how ridiculous they are and how they're in the stands. There are a few things that he said that doesn't ride right with me. Yes, I'm a Canes fan, and no, I never attended the school. He made a comment about insinuating you shouldn't be a fan unless you went there. No, I was just saying that a lot of their fans never went there. But I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm a Buckeye fan. I never went there. Let me see. He brings up that point. Yeah, I'm fine with that. There's a lot of teams I like. I was born and raised in Broward County. We love the Canes, even through the sanction days. Your Suckeyes claim to be back every year, but guess what? You guys managed to lose pretty much every year. By the way, the Big Ten is a conference of yesteryear. The Big Ten had any chance. So he goes, I'm sure a lot of people probably don't care about all this, but I don't know. Anyway, I think he just, long story short, he wanted to get a jab in at me. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's just fun. I mean it in fun. So, I do a little bit of trolling. Like I said earlier this week, I'm a Canes fan. They're my favorite of the Florida teams. I root for a lot of teams. There's only really a few teams that I don't like. I can, root for most teams. But I have a little bit of fun.
Will you be rooting in your Los Hurricanes shirt?
I don't think I'm going to go that route. Yeah, I just,
The people spoke?
Yeah, just, it's like there's enough other things that people give you crap about. And not that, I can't stand up and whatever, but it's just, you're just tired after a while. Like, I can fight other things off, but it's just the stupid thing not to fight about.
I'd say you get the shirt and have some fun with trolling then in the shirt.
I could. If I'm in a spirited day, I'd put it on and be like, all right, I'm ready. Bring it. So it's all good. But, yeah, it's just, Yeah, it's a tough time. I see a lot of people commenting on it. I've seen already today a couple other radio people that are just like, man, nobody can take a joke. People are all upset. And, it is a weird time. And, you had the Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live on Saturday.
That's just people who've never seen his act before. I mean, if you know Bill Burr.
I'm sure he loved it. He's just one of those guys. And that to me sometimes, God bless you. Somebody that can just put it out there and they get nothing but everybody like, and you know what? It seems like it gives somebody like that strength.
Well, he's got so many fans that are going to back him.
Yeah.
Do you think he gives a shit what somebody with 13 followers has on Twitter?
Right.
He shouldn't.
I mean, they're all saying they're going to cancel Bill Burr. Cancel him from what?
Yeah.
You have 13 followers. You're not canceling shit. You can cancel Twitter.
Yeah. And he's built for that. And I think what happens is just social media puts a lot of people who are not mentally built for that in that same kind of crossfire.
Well, he went after white women, and the majority of people getting so upset on Twitter were white women, and just following, and then everyone's like, "He's proving your point. He's proving your point," and that even made him even more mad. So
yeah. Yeah, if you love trolling people and stirring it up and getting people upset, boy, this is your era, isn't it? You got to just love what's going on.
It's not hard to do to stir someone up. It's really easy.
Oh, yeah. No, it really is. Yeah, that's why, Canes fans, I meant nothing by it. Like I said, I root for the Canes.
Oh, give me a break, Kevin.
Whatever. Oh,
it's a fucking football game.
I know. And people get all upset. Gators fans, now that's a different story.
Yeah, going on the Gators.
Gators are playing LSU in a full stadium this weekend.
I just love that coach, the Gators coach. You could tell in his voice he was disgusted by the loss, and he wants to pack the swamp with 9 million people.
To give you a super fast backstory on that, if you don't follow football, the Canes were number 4. They're rebuilding. They're getting to be really strong. They played the number 21 team. They shouldn't have lost the game. They played at the number 21 team stadium, and questionably, I was watching that from the first second they panned the stadium. I'm like, that can't be quarter capacity. It's a stadium of over 100,000, and I agree. It looked at least half to a quarter full. I'm like, maybe the eyeballing, maybe they've got those fake fans in the stands or something, but I'm like, it looked off. I was the same way. And so when you lose to a team you're not supposed to lose to, and you feel, he's like, that crowd was a factor. They were damn loud. I turned around, there wasn't one empty seat. He's like, what is going on with the social distancing? He said, if they can do it and it affected us in a game, I want the swamp packed. And, DeSantis has said the stadiums can open wide open. Boy, the Sun Sentinel went on Dan Mullen yesterday. They called him Florida man. They're like, this is maybe one of the dumbest things a coach out of the state of Florida has ever said. What an idiot he is. I mean, they went in on him hard.
The newspaper?
Sun Sentinel, yeah. Now they're in Broward County and Palm Beach, and they lean a little bit more liberal, but they were not very... they were not applauding Dan Mullen for courage. They were just all over him about he's the ultimate Florida man and this is the epitome of stupidity.
When they were ripping on him, was it an editorial piece or was it written like a news piece?
Yeah, it was editorial. I mean, they went all in on him for wanting to do that. And I don't think they've ever written anything of favor towards Ron DeSantis. And, of course, Republican governor. And so, yeah, they were all over him.
I can't believe that.
Too.
I mean, it's October 13th. The election's going to be here and gone before you know it. The next few weeks is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. And if you're somebody like me, I'm looking forward to the presidential election just to get the damn thing over with. And you hope for a more calm and peace afterwards. And that's just the whole thing. When will it feel like life used to, where it's not so chaotic and everybody's not so
mad and screaming?
Right.
When this election is over, will people still be mad and screaming like they are now? Because it's exhausting.
I really try to be an optimist when it comes to a bunch of stuff like this, but I do see there's just a lot of fighting ahead. It doesn't matter who wins. I just feel like there's going to be some bullshit and there's going to be more fighting. Now, a lot of the fighting that I see is either on the news or on social media. When I talk to my friends, I talk to my family. Yeah, there'll be an argument every now and then. But it's not like we're at each other's throats all the time.
Yeah.
Like a lot of social media and the news makes it seem like it is. And I say that to be positive.
I think you're right in the sense that it doesn't feel like it lets up. And that's where it becomes exhausting. You can have a flare up here and there, but the calm that you get to in between all of those little, if you're looking at a graph, you have that spike, but it just seems like now everything is key, and that's where it gets exhausting because you don't have those breaks in between.
Well, social media makes you think that every family is fighting with each other, and usually the families that are fighting that have an issue and that are a little bit outspoken, they're going to go on social media. So you're going to hear that over-the-top opinion where it seems like it's the masses. And I don't know if everyone's truly as miserable as everyone's saying they are.
I think on both sides you have like really pissed off people that are yelling and screaming, but I don't think the majority are yelling and screaming, right? It's just that the yellers and the screamers are the loudest.
I feel like the majority is the same.
Or is everybody yelling and screaming?
It would appear that way, but again, is it just social media?
Well,
can y'all wake me up after the election?
I will tell you, for somebody, I consider myself to be in the middle of all this. I think it's just the barrage of the shots going back and forth that becomes exhausting for a person that like me. I don't feel like I have a horse in the race. Of course, I care about the stakes of America and things like that.
Of course.
I don't get wrapped up in the emotions of this. But to me, I think that just everyone else's emotions, because, people, I'm sure almost all of us have somebody that's trying to really drag you into this. That's either texting you or hitting you up or saying, you need to be more emotional about this. I know I do. My mom is that way with me. And it's just like, I have to interject myself to get in there and get a little bit of the facts to kind of interject some calm into her. And so you got to kind of know what it is. And I think it's just if you ever been in a home where a lot of people fight, it's exhausting emotionally. It's draining. Yeah, it's draining for you.
I hate it.
And that's what it feels like.
I divorced it because I can't stand fighting people all the time. No, thank you.
I just feel like we live in a time where it's the mic drop moment. Everyone's always mic dropping. Oh, yeah, well, let me say this. Boom, mic drop in your fucking face. I'm right. And there's just so much of, yeah, I'm right, fuck you. And I don't know, for some people, man, you just want to go to the woods and look at some bears scampering around, go watch some dolphins swim in the ocean. Like, you want some peace in life. It's not always about being right and having that mic drop moment. And we just live in a time where it's always about, fuck yeah, Kevin, boom, I'm right, mic drop, bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. It is exhausting. So I think for a lot of people, I think that's why there is just this overall fatigue. I know I have it. I feel it, and that's why I'm hoping that the end of the election will bring everybody down. I feel like it's boiling over. Hopefully we'll just get down to a simmer.
I definitely feel it as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Being in the game for 16 years in broadcasting, the last year has been the wonkiest, weirdest, just to broadcast. I'm not saying that to complain. I'm just saying that as an honest person.
Yeah, well, you have to navigate the minefields of everybody getting upset. You've got the PC culture. You've got the political culture that is going on right now. You got people that are very sensitive on a lot of different issues. And then on top of it, let's add a pandemic. And that has become politicized. And so, yeah, it's tough to navigate.
And sometimes you want to maybe make a joke to lighten the mood, and some people don't want the mood lightened, or they don't get the joke.
Well, you're not then taking it seriously, or your joke was offensive.
Though.
Yeah.
On the outside, they don't. In the inside, they do.
Yeah. I typically have a sense of humor where I laugh at the morbid. I always have, and so I just have a twisted sense of humor like that.
That's how I was raised. I mean, we had a fucked up sense of humor in the Pennington household.
Yeah, and I've realized that I need to watch, some of those things that I chuckle at because it's just what you find amusing now.
Well, I'm not even talking about like even like the mean stuff. You can't even joke about just benign shit anymore. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it really is. So. Where it all ends, I don't know. I hope it just ends on whatever that date is, November 2nd or whenever the election is.
You're right. That next day, all will be great. It's going to rain chocolate kisses.
I hope so.
Unicorns will be just scampering.
I'll take my chocolate kisses real quick and eat them all.
It'll still be hot. I know that. And it'll probably present a new problem that I didn't expect. But my hope, at least, is that, like I said, we go from a boil to a simmer. Hope.
Or we go to a new unexpected explosion.
Take your money out of your bank and go fucking to the woods.
Who knows? Yeah.
I pray for peace. I'm so tired.
Good thing to pray for. Yeah.
Kevin, pray religion, really, Kevin? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of interesting. Mark Zuckerberg is under the gun, the CEO of Facebook, and he's pinging all over the place. And finally, yesterday, he announced that he's going to be banning content that, quote, denies or distorts the Holocaust. That's a reversal on where he was 2 years ago, where he cited Holocaust denial as an example of permissible free speech. So he's reversed himself on that.
Okay.
So he went on to say that this marks another step in our effort to fight hate on our services and comes amid a well-documented rise in anti-Semitism globally and the alarming level of ignorance about the Holocaust, especially among young people. Now, I know even here locally, we'd had that story, the principal at Spanish River that they tried to reinstate in some capacity, where he had that, and Boca Raton, which is they have a large Jewish population in Boca Raton, where they'd had some people, and I think he was just trying to say, well, you should have the right to not believe in the Holocaust if you don't want to. And I remember that he got removed from that, and they've had a big issue, with that has gone on.
I think he's trying to get his job and his money back. Mm-hmm. I forgot the update I heard the other day, but that's very much still going on.
He was involved with something else that I haven't had a chance to look into yet that I want to. My older son, Colin, was telling me about. It was Operation D-. And Lin-Manuel Miranda, is that his name? The guy that did...
Hamilton?
Yes.
Yep.
One of his first productions was on this principal out of Spanish River High School on the Operation D-. And it was basically they'd had a narc in place in the school, and from what I understand, from what my son was telling me, that's why I need to look into it a little bit more, is there was a kid, he had it all going on, he had great grades, the SATs, was going to a good school, and he fell for this narc, I think it was, and they coerced him into dropping off a book bag that had some marijuana in it, and they arrested him. And because of that, he lost, the schools wouldn't pick him up, everything that he'd worked so hard for, because he fell for a girl, made a bad decision. It really kind of torpedoed his whole life. And I think that's what Lin-Manuel Miranda was like. It felt like almost a sense of entrapment that was going on.
Okay, so I think I know the backstory of this.
Yeah, I wanted to look into it because I'm like, wow, it sounds fascinating.
It was featured on NPR.
Okay.
Prominently, and then now I think it is a musical, and it is a fascinating piece about when they sent the drug narc into the high school to pose as a high school student.
Yeah.
She passed for being young.
Yeah.
And took a perfectly good kid that didn't do drugs, but went out and scored drugs for her because he thought that he would get her love and affection by getting this marijuana for her.
Right.
And it is a fascinating story.
Right. And is that what we ever need to be doing, where our law enforcement agencies are taking somebody that is good and turning them bad, and then they face the punishments for it?
When you hear the story, and of course they have a biased spin on it.
Yeah.
They're anti this whole program. They certainly bring up some valid points about how you didn't go after the people in the school that were selling the drugs.
Yeah.
You flipped somebody that wasn't into drugs.
You got somebody you didn't need
bunch of knuckleheads. heads.
Yeah.
This is not how it should be done.
Yeah.
We're not flipping good kids here.
And so this guy that has been involved with the Holocaust denial issue at Spanish River is I believe the same guy who was under his watch that the Operation D- happened too.
Only the principal knew about it, I think.
Yes. I
None
believe so.
of the other school administrators, anybody else was even in on it but him. That's interesting.
And it was just weed?
That's what I believe my son was saying. Like I said, I have not done the deep dive on it yet. Haven't had time to break into it.
It's an hour-long segment on This American Life, and they've replayed it several times. Ira Glass hosts it, and it's really a fascinating peek into this whole sting operation.
Yeah, and to that point, you could take this and put this in any other town. Somebody said, Keith said that happened in Altoona, Pennsylvania. I lived there at the time, and lots of kids got in trouble. And you got to say, why are we out here trying to ruin the lives of kids that are on the right course? You need somebody to kind of keep them on the right course, not to put them in situations, because it makes it feel like you're trying to fill a quota. How many arrests have you had this month? Well, we arrested 5 kids, but you don't care necessarily what the quality was. Is the school better off for these kids? Is life better off in this town because of this? No.
You put a hot girl in the class who's obviously going to be a little more developed than your normal 16-year-old because she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like bait for this kid that wasn't into drugs. And it made this kid want to score drugs for this girl. It certainly seems like you're trying to do the wrong thing here.
This happened back in the day. It's an older story.
It's not that old.
Yeah. Because the principal who was just in the story for the Holocaust denial thing is the same dude, apparently. So, man, I'm not sure exactly what
I'll look up the
was.
name of it so you can find the episode. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to figure that out. I want to check that out, see exactly what's behind it. Got an email from Denise talking about a sex dream she had with Bird. Okay. All right. You're in the ladies' minds.
Nice.
Yeah. He was compassionate. He was loving. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of weird in here mixed with it, but yeah, that's kind of it. So she said he was so caring, not just about me, but his friends and his family, and it was such a turn on. Oh,
Hey.
yeah. All right.
Well, look at that.
Said you can't really teach somebody in their 40s how to behave and be gentle and be kind, but you can teach them in the bed. So that's
How long was this dream?
apparently long enough, my friend.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I got a message not too long, maybe about a month and a half ago. Someone sent me one about you.
Who, me?
Yeah, people definitely dream about the Kevin Ralston.
Okay, well, that's good
going
to
down,
know.
doing some stuff.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying.
What did we say? Going down.
You know what it means.
Okay. All right. That's right, ladies. Take me into your dreams. I can only get in partial trouble for that.
You still get in trouble.
Still get in trouble, but only partial. She said, really, I'm sharing this only because I know Jaybird loves murder, and you guys talked about All Dogs Go to Heaven the other day. I watched a biography on the little girl who actually voiced the little girl in All Dogs Go to Heaven, and she and her mother were murdered by her dad. She was 10 years old at the time. Crazy and twisted story.
Damn.
That's terrifying.
That's awful.
Dang, that is.
So you want to make jokes, but you can't make jokes because you might offend somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that? And Ruben with some valuable information here. Sent an email, said, Kev, you were saying that you loved barbecue sauce, but you can't eat it because of the sugar. I'm in the same boat and have discovered a no-sugar barbecue with only 1 net carb. I was skeptical, but I had to try it for myself, and it was amazing considering there is no sugar added. It is Ray'sNoSugarAdded.com. They don't sell it in stores down here, and I had to order it online. If I wasn't so far away in Miami, I would drop off a bottle since I got a case of it. I'd highly recommend it. Give it a try. If you like it, get the word out so that there is a big enough demand for no sugar added sauces that they give us more options.
There's a barbecue sauce at Whole Foods that's vegan, but I don't know if if there's sugar in there, but it's actually really, really good.
Yeah, I think with vegan it does, there's just different things. Everybody kind of picks whatever it is that they go on. And I believe that, you can get all that stuff. Vegan is really just about, we steer clear of anything meat, touching meat around any kind of animal products whatsoever. So that is really their concern. But, you get sugars, fillers, processed, and that kind of stuff in that.
Yeah, you can still get fat AF on a vegan diet.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you can.
I've done it.
Yeah, I noticed, like I said, I was doing keto, and I watched all those documentaries that Netflix has about going vegan and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. And I went a solid 2 to 3 weeks doing just like the really pretty much at least vegetarian, if not all the way vegan. And I just started to feel bloated, started to feel fat, and was having energy issues and the such. And
your body wasn't responding to that because maybe your blood type, maybe the way you're built, maybe your genetics, who knows?
I don't know what it was, but I felt like, okay, because it wasn't, and I know a lot of people make that choice for the animal sensibilities, and I applaud you for doing that. Mine was going there just for an overall feel and all that kind of stuff and being as healthy as I could, and I realized I don't think it's the right thing for me. So I switched it up. But Ruben, appreciate that. RaisedNoSugarAdded.com. Have to look into that. It's definitely the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
They do good barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ray's. Yeah, I know. The regular Ray's. That's why I figure it's got to be some good stuff. So appreciate that. Thought this was rather interesting, but I think I've had this before as well, where they talk about how more younger kids are leaning to the weed than they are the booze.
I feel like older people are leading to the weed as well.
They said that as well. Absolutely. They say the use of cannabis, which is illegal in many states and countries, has also increased with Gen Z.
I can see that.
It is picking up, and that's really kind of interesting that those sensibilities are kind of changing.
I think it has to do with the legality of it. It's become legal, so it's kind of taken away. Mm-hmm. So, ooh, you've got weed.
Yeah.
And I think there's just more education on. I mean, as someone who's done both alcohol and weed, I personally feel like that alcohol does way different it's almost like that's a legit drug, alcohol. It makes me a different person. Weed just makes me want to eat some pizza.
Yeah, and I think that might be part of it. You think about it, too. If you're a kid and you grew up and you saw parental behavior, or you feel like your family was ripped apart because of alcohol, then you may be like, I don't want to go down that path. And if you have an alternative to help stress relieve and still kind of feel relaxed and, okay, this is good, I can see where it would be a good alternative. And I think to your point, you're right. There is, in the wrong hands, in the wrong amount, demon alcohol, yeah, you can have a lot more regrets. It sounds like in the cases of the people I know than people who have smoked pot.
I mean, all of my regrets come in the alcohol category.
Yeah.
I can't really say that about weed other than I ordered too much food.
Do you ever, okay, so I know if I drink too much, I hit a certain point where I kind of black out and don't remember the whole tail end of the night. Does that ever happen with weed?
I mean, I'm sure it does with people who don't smoke it that often, but I think if you're a person that is in the weed culture, you get used to it. Like if Kevin smoked a joint right now, Kevin's going to probably act a little bit different than me or Denny's would because he doesn't smoke weed.
Let's do it.
He's got them bitch-ass lungs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that there's, the culture's changed.
Yeah.
And so people's mindset has changed.
They say the numbers have. They did polling in 2002 and then 2019 with 18 to 22-year-olds. They said with people in that age group that went to college, the non-drinkers surged from 20 to 28%. So non-drinkers, 28% in college in 2019 are not drinking now. And they say non-students went from 24 to 30%, so even more of non-university students, which is kind of odd.
Huh.
So they say between the age group 18-22 and 2019, according to this one survey, 30% are now not drinking. That means 70% are. So there's still a lot of.
Oh, they're getting fucked up on alcohol and then they're smoking weed too. You're right. They're doing both.
There's still a lot of drinkers out there, so none of the alcohol companies need to start freaking out.
I just think with all the dispensaries out there, it's cool for people. Some people who've never even got into that. I'm listening to older relatives talk about, you can go in the store and buy joints. It's amazing. I never knew you could do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My neighbors, they're older. One of them just talks about how he's high all the time. And like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, like that never would have happened in a yard conversation.
No, it would
between neighbors.
Well, even the way we talk about it on the air is way different than even. I mean, when we got to WRMF, we talked about weed pretty openly, but when we're out wild. I don't know if I don't think the atmosphere was ready to talk about it.
You're right.
We talked a little bit about it, and you'd get shit from people.
Yeah,
right.
Times have definitely changed.
You're promoting drugs. Drugs are bad.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stereotypes that go with weed too, so that people don't talk about it.
Right, absolutely. But the times are changing. Joseph in the chat room, not to be rude, Kev, but are you on drugs? You're looking hella skinny, my guy.
Are you
very
on
Mexican?
drugs?
Yeah. Is she feeding you? April's like, yeah, I was wondering myself. Is Kevin sick?
Oh,
I haven't watched KVJ TV in a couple of weeks. Yeah, no, I mean, if you missed out, no, I'm not sick. I'm not on drugs. I don't have cancer or anything like that. I'm sure you guys are wondering.
I'm surprised they didn't just flat out ask, hey,
or-
Kev, you have cancer?
Yeah. So none of those things. I'm not ill. I had made a conscious choice during the pandemic where before, I was drinking a lot of craft beer and the such, and I wanted to get lean. And so that is pretty much where it was. And also, too, at the pandemic, going to the gym, I couldn't, my gym was shut down for a while. And that's where I was doing, some more of the heavier weight. So I was left to my own devices. And I'm just, by nature, unfortunately, my genetics, I get scrawny. If I'm not, doing testosterone and I'm not doing heavy weights and, but I do know when I do that, I get a lot of puff on me. And I just didn't want puff. I've been reading about belly fat and what that does for you. And I'm older and I can't lift heavy weights like I used to. So I had to make an adjustment. So, yeah, I'm trying to lean down. I'm still, lifting some weights, what I have at home with dumbbell stuff. So I'm doing that, and I'll probably try to do a little bit more. But, yeah, I'm trying to lean up, and that's the way it is. And so I'm sure when you haven't seen me for a while, I definitely look different.
I get a little Kay Pennington. I guess that's my mom in me sometimes when you say to somebody, hey, you look sickly, you're being an asshole when you say that. Just so you know, it's a rude thing to say, whether you type it, whether you say it to somebody. What if you really are going through a disease that you don't want to publicly talk about, and now you're asking if you're sick? It's just a dumb comment, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm not ill.
You don't have to type everything you think.
I don't have any kind of eating disorder or anything like that.
Well, I get that you're in the public eye, you got to hear comments,
Sure.
but when you, I saw a post the other day, and I almost jumped in there to defend you. It was like 11 just kind of dicky comments about the way you looked, and it bothered me. So I had to back off and don't get involved, Bird.
Yeah.
It's the pansies fight.
Yeah,
but
I'm
and
not.
the pansy's not going to fight.
He's not. I guess I'm just sick of taking shit like that sometimes. And when I see you, when I see that, I might fight back. Yeah. Just depending on my mood.
I hear you.
When you say someone looks sickly,
it's all good.
It's rude.
I hear you. So I'm sure you're very worried about my health and well-being, but I'm doing great. In fact, I'm sure that if I had a person medically examine me, they're saying, Kev, you are so on point. What you're doing is great.
Den in the chat room says, don't be so sensitive, Jay Bird. And then I would just would say, don't be such an asshole, Den. There you go. I'll be less sensitive. You're less of an asshole.
There you go. So everything's good. We're all healthy. I'm lean, yes, and that's just the way it is.
You're lean. You're not prepping for death.
No, and I'll hopefully put a little bit more muscle on. Yeah, that would be part of the goal. I'd like to get back to that, but I'm still not driving to the gym, doing what I can at home. So
you sick looking.
Thank you for caring. Yeah.
I found that episode for you if you care.
Oh, which one?
It's episode number 457 of This American Life. It's called What I Did for Love, and this specific segment is called 21 Chump Street.
Yes, that's what my son was talking about. Yeah.
Yes, you got to go listen to it. It's so good. And then the musical is really good. It's a 14-minute musical based on that story.
Oh, that's cool.
And some of the
and
song.
That's Spanish River High School, right?
Yeah.
In Boca.
That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, something for everybody to check out. All right. Thank you guys for all the info and the emails. Mail at kvjshow.com. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.